today. Oh yeah, hope on for tomorrow. Good enough today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Good Enough Today, podcast where we share stories of people who are showing up authentically even when life gets tough. I'm your host, Cheremma, and today we have a very special episode of Good Enough Today with me and my special guest, Stephanie Verdugo.
Hello, everybody.
I know that you guys might remember Stephanie from a prior episode where she talked about her story, but today's a little bit different because we have some breaking news. I got some news last week where I finally have a diagnosis, and Stephanie's going to sit here and kind of get into it with me on the raw details of how I feel about that and whether or not what my next steps are and how we're going to traverse this new journey in my life. But before we get started, of course, we start every episode with our PEM. So, Stephanie, how are you feeling today? Physically, emotionally?
I'm going to say 6.5, 7.
Okay. All right. That's actually really good. I would say that I am...
To be honest, you can have a 3.
I would say physically, I would go 5, but 5, a downward 5 instead of an upward 5.
Okay, I got it.
Emotionally, you know what? I think I'm 5s all across the board, and that could be anywhere. Now, throughout this interview,
5.0.
I think it's 5.0 all the way across the board. Okay, so
better than a 3.
Yes, it is. It is. And if you'd asked me last week, it might have been a 3. So,
3.25.
yeah. So now we're here, and I'm not used to being on this side of it.
I
so
know.
here you go, Stephanie.
I know. Hello, everybody. I'm in charge. I'm ready. Well, I think that we should start with, why don't we tell everybody what the diagnosis is, and then we'll work our way back.
Okay, so turns out I have Sjogren's syndrome.
How do you spell that?
SJOGREN''S. So it's not something that was on the radar, and I don't have the typical symptoms of Sjogren's either. So it's very interesting.
So I had the pleasure of having a window seat to the journey over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Something like that. Tell me about this doctor who diagnosed you.
Oh, you want to start there? All right, so this doctor that diagnosed me is a rheumatologist.
Okay.
So rheumatologists deal with autoimmune diseases. And the doctor who, I saw her in 2023 when all of this, so at that point I had been going through everything for about 1.5 years, 2 years. I had some random rashes, random symptoms that were just all over the place. My autoimmune markers were all over the place too. So my CRP was elevated. Don't ask what that means because I have no idea. But my ANA was positive. So all the things to say, hey, something autoimmune is happening was happening then. So doctors sent me.
Hold on. So we really brush over not feeling well, right? So take me through a day in 2023 when you're about to go to the rheumatologist. Were you able to get out of bed? Could you exercise? Like, what is a day like that?
Okay, so those days were tough. Those days, that was, of course, before I started walking every day because I couldn't make it around the block without feeling like I was going to collapse. So every bit of energy was spent just towards trying to make it through the day. Okay. So that's waking up.
Trying to make it to bed.
Make it to bed. Barely, right? Because that would be getting up, going to work, coming home, showering, and being in bed at like 6 o'clock p.m.
Wow.
And then waking up the next morning and doing it again. And I may or may not eat just because I needed enough rest to be able to just get through that portion of the day.
And for those of you that don't know, eating isn't exactly easy on a greatest of days.
Yes.
You do have some allergies there.
Yes.
But, okay. So there were tough days.
Very, very tough days.
Was there chronic pain, discomfort?
Chronic pain. So, like, then, of course, my head was always hurting. It hurt to lay on my side, on my left side especially, but everything was uncomfortable. So laying down was uncomfortable. And it was just let me get to sleep so I can't feel the pain. And then sometimes the pain would wake you up in the middle of the night. And then just trying to just make it through so that you could stay alive. Okay, just be alive. If we're just going to be alive, this is what it is. We're going to do this. So it was pretty rough.
Were you taking any pain medication or any type of sleeping medication?
So back then we were trying to figure out, because I had the intracranial hypertension too, so the cerebral spinal fluid was high. So I was taking the acetazolamide, which was to bring that down, but it also has a lot of side effects too. And it was just an array of like trying to fix that, and the trigeminal neuralgia, and then there are just symptoms that kept popping up for different things. And it was MRIs for this. Let's try to see if this is that. I was taking some medications for pain, and I was the NSAIDs. I took some prescription NSAIDs and things like that. But then, of course, those started killing my kidneys and causing issues. So it was challenging. It was a lot.
Okay, so how did we get to rheumatology?
All right, so at rheumatology, at that point, I had started having some gastrointestinal issues. They thought my appendix was an issue. So there were just things going on. So the doctor's like, okay, we need to send you to every specialist there is. And we think this is something inflammatory because your inflammatory markers keep going up. And that means that it's got to be rheumatology. So everybody was banking on rheumatology at that point. Go to rheumatology.
Right. Everyone's got their fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, rheumatology.
Now we're talking about specialists.
Yeah, so neurologists, gastroenterologists, the PCP, everybody's like, hey, something's happening here.
Right.
We know it's happening.
Yeah.
But you've got to go see rheumatology because they're going to be the people who figure it out.
And I say that just because as you navigated the healthcare, I'm going to call it a circus. It's the nicest word that I can use. As you navigated the circus, they're pointing you outside of their expertise.
Yes.
And we're dealing with very intelligent specialists. We're dealing with people that do have your best interests at heart, but they really don't know how to make you comfortable, more or less diagnose you.
Yes. And so that was very frustrating part, right? Because these are the people that I feel like are smarter than me, right?
Sure.
They have specialized in this, and they are looking at me like, I want to help.
Yeah.
But this is not what I do, and I don't know what to do to help you.
Right.
And
did you have a doctor, and I know I'm skipping just ahead just a tiny bit, but have you had a doctor tell you, I don't know?
Yes. I've had several doctors tell me, I don't know. I think that's the most disheartening part.
Right.
It's like, you know, you go to gastroenterology, and they're like, hey, yeah, nothing's here, but we know something's going on with you. You go to, I've seen neurosurgeons, they're like, something's going on here, but it's not, we don't know. Now, neurology, of course, they know that something neurologically is happening, and they can try to fix the symptoms because if my cerebral spinal fluid is high, then we need to get that down because you're going to have a problem. But the problem is if they fix that, it doesn't fix what's causing it.
Right.
And then there's just another problem.
Right.
And so neurology, I have to say that my neurologist is the best one that, Dr. Wingrove, I'm going to shout her out, but I don't know if that's a great thing because I don't want y'all going there. But she is amazing because she stayed with me this whole time trying to figure it out and trying to send me to the right person. And even she was like, I would send you wherever if I could figure out who to send you to.
Right.
Because
the door.
Yes,
where's the door?
Where's the door?
Yes.
Where's the door? And so in 2023, the door was rheumatology. And then,
so you go.
I went to rheumatology, and she told me
walk us through the day. You go, you check in, you sit down.
I check in, I sit down, and prior to that, my PCP was like, hey, this has got to be rheumatology.
Okay.
So she did a lot of testing beforehand. She did all the blood work. She was like, this is all they're going to do, but I'm going to make it so that when you go, they have enough information to start trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. So she was like, let me do all the blood work that I know of from my perspective. And then when you go, your appointment, you'll already have some things that she can talk to you about. So she was trying to speed up the process.
Yeah.
So I am excited about rheumatology at this point because I'm like, this is the person that has the answer.
Right.
And we're going to go in here and she's going to find something. And of course I'm miserable.
Right.
So I'm in there and I'm like, I'm trekking in with the last little bit of hope that I have. And I sit down with rheumatology and she says, well, anybody's ANA can be positive. ANA is is a marker for autoimmune disease. I don't know exactly what it stands for, but it's one of those things that she's like, your CRP is high sometimes, it's not, it's probably, if we tested 50% of the population would have a high ANA, B positive. So nothing's wrong with you. Everything looks good. So I asked a couple of questions. Are you sure? Because people were sending me, nope, everything looks good. You're good to go. And from 2023 until now,
hold on. Hold on.
We're gonna skip right over.
No, we're not skipping over anything. This is the we're gonna get it all out.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So at the very least, the very highest degree of hope that you have walking in the day is we're gonna find a string we can pull on.
Yes.
We're gonna find something that is going to lead us somewhere that has answers.
Yes.
At the very least, I would imagine, and don't let me put words in your mouth, I would imagine curiosity is the least to hope for. That you are going to walk into a specialist that has curiosity.
Yes, and say, I wonder what's happening here.
Right.
Because at that point, I had the temporal artery biopsy. I had the...
I don't even know what that is.
They cut into your head here. And they
Wow.
snip out a piece of your temporal artery.
I think I missed that day.
You did.
I've been privy audience to a lot of this journey. I think I missed that one.
This is before I started here. So before we met, I had the temporal artery biopsy. And that's how they were like, okay, it was that, the what's it called? Where they go in and they take out your spinal fluid to see.
The spinal tap.
Spinal tap, yes. The spinal tap. And I had to go through ophthalmology to figure out what was going on with the pressure behind my eyes and see why I went blind, right, for that short, brief period of time.
Right.
So they were concerned that I was going to go blind and it was temporal arteritis. So the only way to test for that, cut your head open and say.
As someone who's had their head cut open, it sounds as bad as it is.
So they say, okay, hey, we're going to do this. And, I mean, it's superficial, right? You got a little wound here. You can see it sometimes. And I had gone through all of that at that point. And that's how they figured out the IAH was because my opening pressure from the spinal tap was higher. And then now we've gone through all of this. And I had started treatment for the IAH. And then it started failing. Okay. And then it was like, oh, wait, then something else is happening here. And now we're at 2023, going to this rheumatologist where we've gone through these different things to try to figure out what's happening. But there's something underlying that's causing everything else. Right. And so now we're at the rheumatologist where we are needing some kind of hope to point us towards something or to send to someone else to say, hey, I'm not sure what is going on here, but that's not expected.
So do you feel like she was dismissive?
Yes. I feel like, so we get there and she's like, yeah, no, right? And that's like,
this ain't me.
No, yeah, this is exactly. Right. She was like, you know what? Y'all think this is not what I do. This is whatever you got going on. You're just like everybody else. Go ahead, get out of here. And to say it's like the balloon that they took all the air out of your balloon because that's just a little bit of hope that you had that somebody, the person that's supposed to figure out. Because did you watch House back in the day?
I loved every episode.
Right. So the rheumatologist is like House adjacent, right? So I'm like the rheumatologist.
That's the person.
Yes, this is the person that's going to be like, hey, what's going on here? She's got some weird stuff. Let's figure it out. Yeah. And the person that's supposed to be like, let's figure it out was like, I don't even want to touch you. You're fine. Get out of here.
But how long do you think that appointment lasted?
Maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe.
From entry to...
Yes, maybe 20 minutes. Okay. And so, just walk out with like, what now?
Because did she end up sending you to somebody else? Or was it just, this is not me?
This is not me. You don't have a problem. Goodbye.
Okay.
And so, so I go back to neurology. Because neurology was like, hey, you need to see rheumatology because we're doing everything on our side, but something's happening here. You got to figure this out because we can't work without this working. Yeah. And so I go back to neurology and she's like, what? She's like, okay, well, if rheumatology rules it out, then let's figure out what's going on. So then she proceeds to try to send me MPCP2, right? We're going to send you to everybody. You got these muscle twitches going. You got this. We're going to go to neuromuscular. We're going to go to neuro this. We're going to do this. And I have probably cardiology, right? I've gone through, if there's a gist, I've probably seen it. And so, yeah, it's been a journey.
Has it been clearly an emotional journey? Has it also been a very physically damaging journey?
It's interesting that you say that because before I got sick, I was I was doing 2-a-day workouts. I was riding my bike for maybe 10, 15 miles in the mornings, walking like 3 to 5 miles in the evenings, and trying to push myself to the physical limits of what I could do to see how far I could go. And then to be like, I can't walk around the corner. And then trying to do the things that I do. So physically limiting is, it's like your body and your mind don't kind of work together. And you want to be able to do more. And you feel like you're still the same person, but you don't feel like the same person. People talk about willing your body to do things, but you're using every bit of your will
just to make it
to better again. So.
Right. And I think that a lot of people on this show have talked about the disconnect between your soul and the limitation of your body.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you feel like you were dissociating?
I think so. I think that it's like an active breathing process, right? Because you are trying to be who you are, but your body's like, no. And you see all these things. I think like that guy is like, oh, you got power over your mind, right?
Who's going to carry the boats? Not me.
Exactly. And so you think of it like that. And you're like, okay, I can do it. Right. But the mental drain of first being in pain, right? So the pain, physical pain, emotional pain, and then you start to it challenges your self-concept of who you think you are and what you have been and who you will be. And then there's also the fear of, when is this going to be over?
Right.
Or is it ever going to be over?
Right.
And then am I going to die? Right. Because at some points they were like, I don't know.
At some point, one of your specialists said, your body cannot continue to battle at this level.
Cannot continue like this. And we got to figure it out, because we don't know the point at which your body says no.
Right.
And that makes it like, what do you do? Because it's like, tell me what to eat. You want me to eat fruit? Right? Like, tell me what to do.
And at that point of desperation,
yes,
you will spend any dollar, you will make any sacrifice.
I will do it all. Just
right.
I mean, I've tried the holistic things. I've tried if it's not traditional, I'm like, poke me with it. Let me see how can this work. And they talk about everything's important until your health is important, right? Once you get sick,
absolutely
drop everything. I don't care about anything else. I just want to live, even though you might not feel like you want to live, right?
Right.
And I think that emotionally and physically, like I said, it's an active grieving process that you are hit with every day. So,
and I wanted you to talk about how important was it to have the diagnosis. I've read a lot about when there is an unknown, right? And this is to no way diminish anyone that has the traditional path of cancer.
Yes.
You're diagnosed with cancer, then you have to battle cancer, which is awful. But there are treatments and programs and flowers and pins and programs.
And
when there is the unknown and there is no diagnosis,
I think because what you start to do is question, am I crazy? I ask the doctors all the time, like, hey, is this psychological? Because, like, I'll go, like what am I making it up?
Right.
Like, what is happening?
You almost want to be crazy.
Yeah, like, maybe I am crazy. Like, give me the stuff that makes you not be crazy anymore and we're good. And they're like, no, we would know by now, right? Like,
you can't fake it.
You can't fake it for that long. And so the diagnosis, it's interesting because it gives you a little bit of power.
Right.
Before, I'm fighting shadows.
Yes.
I'm fighting shadows, right? And granted, the Sjogren's diagnosis might not be the end-all, be-all, but it's a beginning of like, hey, we have the underlying thing, and if we can fix this underlying thing or manage this underlying thing, then anything on top of this, we can cut the layers off, right? And so having a diagnosis, it's equally, I have immense gratitude and sadness.
So from the day in 2023 when you first visited rheumatology, how long was it until you revisited rheumatology? Was it a week? Was it a month?
2.5.
Sorry, say it again.
2.5 years.
So you battled every day for 2.5 years.
Yeah. Until the doctor, then every doctor I went to said, "Hey, what did rheumatology say? Have you gone to rheumatology?" And I said, "Yes, rheumatology says it's not anything rheumatological. They've cleared
in 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes. They're like, "Are you sure?" This is what she said. I asked her this. So every specialist I went to said, "Hey, go to rheumatology." And I'd say rheumatology cleared me. And they'd say,
right, because they did.
Yes,
right.
They did. And, thinking back now, I'm like, man, I should have fought more. I should have done this. But I have to give myself a little grace because I was trusting what the doctor said. And I was desperate.
Well, I also look at it, I'm a very numbers-driven person. Mm-hmm. So let's say you saw 25 specialists.
Yes.
Okay, just throwing a number out there. I'm probably close.
Yes, probably close, actually.
If you would have second-guessed every single specialist you saw,
right,
just mathematically, from a time perspective and from a monetary perspective, now it's exponentially difficult because where does it end?
Yes, and that's the part where I have to give myself grace because I'm in my mind it was like, okay, well, it's not rheumatology. It's the next specialist is going to figure it out,
right? And
the next specialist is like, nah, we tested for you for what you got here. That's not it. So you're going through that, and so there's this. There is an anger, right? Because I guess we didn't get to how I got diagnosed.
No, we're getting there.
Okay, so
I'm getting there. Okay, so I wanted to just point out
2.5 years
why we didn't bang down rheumatology door in that 2.5 year span. You were busy chasing it down through other avenues. So, what takes you back to rheumatology?
So I got the blood clot and I started feeling better, right? And people were like, so then I had to see another gist, right? The hematologist. And then I kept having like this pain. The pain was like, and the doctors were like, okay, we've sent you everywhere. You have to go back to rheumatology.
Where was your pain?
Oh man, everywhere. But so I had the head pain, but then my legs and my back and my arms, there was just this like
reverberating
pain. There was nothing that made it better. There was not anything that kind of made it worse. It just was there. And so I could take ibuprofen or something every once in a while and maybe get a little bit of edge off, but you're trying to go. And I felt the best. I told you, I think I've said it before, the best ever while I was on the blood thinners.
Right.
And people couldn't figure out why are blood thinners making you, when I say people, doctors were like, why would the blood thinners work? Why would it make it easier? But it turns out that, my blood vessels are so inflamed that it's hard to pump blood through your body. It hurts for your blood to go through your body. And so that kind of sucks.
So, okay. So then they said, you have to go back.
You got to go back to rheumatology.
So I want you to talk about how you got back into that doctor's office because I believe you tried to go to another.
I tried to go. So we're in Austin. And so the doctors that I usually see are within
a hospital
care provider. And so if you go through those, they usually refer you to doctors within that system. So I say, okay, I want to go to another doctor, another rheumatologist within this system because I've already in my network. And I say, I want to go there because I've already been to her and
it didn't work out.
So let's go see someone else because maybe somebody else needs to take a fresh look at this.
Sure.
I try to do that, and they tell me that that's not possible.
Why?
Because the doctors have an agreement that if you see one doctor from this practice in this same location, then you cannot see the other doctor in this location. So I would have to go 20 to 30 miles, which in Austin, the traffic is like an hour away potentially, if they accepted me into that practice, and then also wait another 6 months or so to get in with the doctor, depending on their timeline, if they accepted me into that practice.
Right.
Because I couldn't see the one here in Austin that was adjacent to the other one because of their agreement not to see each other.
So you were left with waiting potentially 6 months or longer, or going back to where you had originally started.
Yes, the same doctor that dismissed me.
Okay, so you chose.
I chose to go back to the doctor that dismissed me.
Okay, and how did that go?
So first, I had to pray a lot
Okay,
because I was angry, and I was like,
Right.
God, just please give me the words that I need to say to get through to this woman today, because I need her to do what she does. So I went to the doctor, and she walked in, and she was like, oh, you haven't been here? I said, yes. Like, I really need you to figure this out. I've been to every specialist, and they keep sending me saying that I need to come back to you. And I'm miserable right now. I can barely live my life the way I want to live my life. And I need you to pay attention to what I'm saying and look at what I have going on and figure this out. I'm the reason you became this doctor. I need you to do this.
Do you feel like she hurt you?
Well, she figured it out. So I don't know if it was divine intervention, but what's interesting is that I left the appointment. I looked at my summary notes, and I was like, she didn't hear me at all. The summary that she had was not the same summary of what I thought that I told her.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. You're saying the tsunami of words that you used, you got back maybe a drizzle.
Yes.
Okay, but she did end up ordering a test of some kind.
Yes.
What did she order?
She ordered more blood work. She said, well, hey, with Sjogren's, I think it's Sjogren's. Do you have dry eyes? I was like, yeah, but I would not go to the doctor for the eyes that I have dry right now. I'd just be like, put some drops in my eyes and keep moving. Like, this would not be the reason.
Right, that would not be the flag.
Yes.
That
And
we
she was
planted.
like, well, it never shows up on anything and people feel like you do. We're going to send you, if I suspect that all your things are going to come back normal, and we're going to send you for a lip biopsy, and it'll tell you yes or no. And she was like, okay, bye.
But she had an thought
Yes.
that you got Sjogren's.
Yes.
So that came from somewhere.
Yes. Somewhere in the information that I gave her, she was like, maybe it's Sjogren's syndrome. And I think...
Had you ever heard that before?
I had never heard it before.
Okay.
Never heard it before. And so she says this, and I'm like, this lady, I don't trust this lady.
Sure. There's not a trust built there.
I don't trust her, but maybe she's right. So I go and I look it up, and it keeps talking about dry mouth and dry eyes, and I'm like,
yes,
that's the least of the concerns that I have.
And if that's all you're going to cure,
yes, then we're not going to win.
This is not the cure I'm looking for.
This is not it. So, she sent it, and I was like, okay, I gotta trust that this is it. So,
what was the test?
So the test, oh my gosh. I've been through a lot of tests and things. And most of them, I'm just like, okay, even with my head, like spinal taps, all the things, like poke me, prod me, do the things. And I'm like, okay, cool. Right. But for some reason, this lip biopsy.
So it's a lip biopsy.
And this is cowboy style. I feel like all you have to do is put some whiskey on there, like back in the day. I feel like the doctor was amazing, first off. He was amazing. But he's got a headlamp. He's there. He's like, and it's not any worse than a normal dental procedure, right? But the process was so traumatic for some reason. I don't know. I was just like, you grab your lip, you stick a needle in it, and you're numb, and then they're just like, it's kind of gross, so I won't go into it. But
you can go into it.
They're pulling out your salivary glands out of your lip. Wow. So he's got scissors, and you can just see the little balls of coming out. It's like, oh, this is good. You got a lot bunched up here. They need a lot, because if they don't have enough, your sample will be inconclusive. So he has to pull out enough. So in my mind, we're going to go in there. They're going to snip, scoop one time, and we're out of there. But no.
Yeah. How long did you procedure take?
It probably took about 35, 40 minutes, but he was taking like 6 of them out. So, right? Like, I had to make the noise so you understood what was happening. So, I'm like, okay. And then after that, though, my body was like...
Did you have a stitch inside your lip?
Yes.
That sounds very okay.
Yes. You have sutures inside your lip, and then you take medicine, and you get better in a couple of days. But that threw my body into turmoil. My body was like,
Sure. Excuse me.
Yes, did you?
More pain?
Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
And before I went in, I was probably really at a 3.
Yeah.
And so now, and my goal was like, I just got to make this biopsy. I got to make this biopsy. And then after the biopsy, my body was like, you made it, but this is just where you're going to be for a little bit.
So how long does the biopsy take to come back?
The biopsy, that was a Tuesday, a week.
Okay.
Takes a week.
And in that week, I assume you devoured everything about Sjogren's?
No, I didn't.
Because you thought that this test would just be another test.
Well, okay, so this is what in my heart, I was like, because a couple days before the biopsy, I was like, this woman don't really know what she's talking about. So I looked up a little bit, and I looked up unconventional symptoms of Sjogren's.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, she could be right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I also couldn't allow myself to hope for a diagnosis.
Okay.
Because I wanted
to handle one more disappointment.
I could not handle one more disappointment. So I was trying to manage my expectations, but also I think this is probably it, right? But then also be like, you can't put too much hope in this. One, because of who said it also, right. But also because if it's not it, then what? So you're trying to protect myself in the like, okay, if it's a no, what are you going to do? Right. If I say yes, what are you going to do?
Right.
And also be like, okay, but every new doctor has been the answer, right? You think it's the answer, then it's nothing. So,
because at one point you thought having a very serious cranial surgery was the answer.
Yes, and I'm so happy that I didn't have it, right? Because that would have solved one problem, but it wouldn't have taken care of the underlying issue, which was my fear. My fear was like, this is a Band-Aid, and I'm gonna have my head cut open, and then I'm gonna.
We could have matched them.
Yeah, we could. And
is that your right side?
No, it's my left side. Oh, well, then we're a pair. We're a pair, so it works out. And so, it's a lot.
Yeah. So you get the call. What do they say?
They say, Miss Lee, I get the call from the person that did my biopsy was an ENT. Okay. So I got the call from the ENT's office, and she says, Miss Lee, you got your results back, and your results are consistent with the diagnosis of Sjogren's. We don't treat it. We're going to send everything over to your rheumatologist's office, and they'll call you for follow-up. Do you have any questions? No, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. I was sitting in my office, and I was like, okay. Yeah. Okay. And do you feel happy? I don't, like...
How long from the first time you went blind, because you were able to regain your sight, so when you went from blind to sitting in your office, how long are we talking?
I would say 3 years and 8. Well, it was October, so 3 years and 8 months or 9 months. 3 years and 9 months.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, and that's why every emotion happens, right? Because there's anger, there's grief, there's fear, there's like a lot. There's gratitude though, also because there's a sense of relief. And so all the other emotions, it's like, I want to feel those, but I'm just also relieved that I know what to fight, at least for a little bit, right?
Right, because it's possible that Sjogren's is a major contributor to how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And it's possible that you also have other ailments.
Right.
That maybe will be seen.
Because now we have this underlying thing taken care of. And that's the thing, like, anytime you have inflammation of any sort, the inflammation is going to make everything else worse. So it could be that they fix the inflammation and then everything else calms down and my nervous system's like, right, thank you. And that's my hope, right? And it's just the unknown right now. It's just like, and I also don't want to get too hot, right? I don't want to get too like, this is great, because it's been a long time.
So now we know you're a person that has Sjogren's.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means now, for me, you start the regimen, right? But now I need to figure out, what does the person with my symptoms of Sjogren's need for treatment? And my lovely rheumatologist, I don't think is the person who will help me through that journey. But the good thing is that now I can find the person that treats Sjogren's with my symptoms and say, hey, can you look at this and tell me what you think and what I should do to put myself in the best situation to win.
Right. And you have found a person?
I found a specialist in Houston that I'm going to go see, and hopefully she will be able to point me, because, I went back to the rheumatologist.
In person or on the phone?
I went back in person.
Okay. Once you got the diagnosis?
Once I got the diagnosis, she sent me a note.
Okay.
Her office did not call. She sent me a note, said, diagnosis positive, please come see me.
Okay.
That's how she told me that maybe she saw the other notes. Maybe there were other notes.
Maybe she knew you'd already been informed.
Yes. So she says, come back. I go back and I'm ready with the questions. Like, okay, what do I need to do in my life to be okay now? This is Sjogren's. I got all these symptoms, and what do we do?
Yes.
And she's like, well, we put you on this medicine. It's going to take 3 months for it to start working. That's what we do. And I'm like, but right now, I'm miserable. I walked in this door with the least amount of power I have. So to give you context, like I'm still doing my walks, right? But usually I walk, my miles range from 13 to 15 minute miles. It's taking me 19 to 20 minutes to walk each mile now.
Which isn't bad, by the way.
It's not, but there's a difference, right?
I understand.
And so I'm like, okay. And I'm pushing through like, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? I'm coming to work and I'm barely making it, right? And I'm starting to go to bed at 7 o'clock at night again, right? Like we're starting this process. We're in a bad place. Right. And this woman says, in 3 months, we'll see if you start feeling better.
And in the grand scheme of things, 3 months compared to 3 years of change.
It's not bad, but how am I going to make it through the 3 months?
But right now we're climbing a mountain. We're climbing Everest.
Yes. And she
without oxygen.
And I said, hey, is there something you can give me now? She's like, yeah, I could give you some steroids, but it can cause weight gain. So we don't want you to have that issue.
Well, Cheremma, we're women. And if you think about gaining weight, that could be the death of you.
I was like, ma'am, I need something right now to give me some relief. So she gave me the lowest dose of steroids that she could give me. And I mean, it took a little bit of the edge off, but that's not what.
Right. So back to.
Yeah, I call neurology because.
Back to neurology
because I've got a migraine.
The only doctor
who's saying, hey.
I
care about you. And I'm like, hey, I'm miserable. I've got this migraine that's underlying. I can't get rid of it. And they're like, okay, your rheumatologist might get mad, but we're going to hit you with as much as possible on this steroid so we can get this inflammation down enough to kill this migraine.
Right.
And hopefully we can get you to your 3 months of this medicine kicking in and you're going to see the specialist. So they're trying to get me to a point where I can function because I do have 3 jobs, right?
Yes.
And so it's like, I got to be able to do at least one well, right? And right now, I felt like I wasn't doing anything well because I'm just surviving at all levels. Sure. Everything's okay, but one little thing and we're going downhill. So, thank God for optimized neurology. Is what I'll say. I mean, if you talk about endorsement, they're not paying me for their endorsement. No. She doesn't even know. She's probably going to be upset that I actually said anything. But
can we talk just for a minute about the difference in care between insurance care
oh yeah, so
and out of pocket care?
Yeah, so I say this because Dr. Grove at Optimized Neurology, she does not go through insurance, so it's more expensive. Out of pocket up front, right?
You pay her for her time.
Yes, you pay her for your time. And I can send my bills to my insurance company on my own. She's just not going to do it. So you can do it, but it's an out-of-network thing and it costs more and all those things. But she was more attentive because she runs her own practice. However, I will say that I've seen some very good doctors who try to do what they can within the realm of the system of insurance. But the person who took the time and was like, no.
And I would say who had the time.
Yes. But, I say that.
Because, not that her caseload is not overwhelming, but because she can make her own decisions. Yes. And she could say, I don't know what's happening here, but
I know we shouldn't do this, and I don't have to be constrained by what your insurance is going to say. I can just be a doctor. And I appreciate that. And it's also sad, though, because that means that a lot of people who don't have that option don't get the care that they need. So the insurance, I could go on and on about insurance.
We're not going to fix insurance today.
Yeah, but
I don't know who is going to fix our insurance system. I think it's deplorable, and I say that as a person with resources.
Yeah.
And I think that I do believe that our healthcare system is designed to keep us sick, and it's designed to keep us jumping from one to the next.
And I think that it makes it so much more expensive.
It absolutely makes it.
And I don't know who wins there, because the goal is so you won't need it as often. But also we just up the cost and up the cost and up the cost, which isn't good for the insurance company or employers. So, I just don't know who's winning. I feel like we're all losing. And the patients, the people who actually matter, especially with that whole system of that rheumatologist and going through that. When you don't feel like fighting, you have to fight the system just to get care. And then you have to go to someone and hope that God intervenes for you to get the care, the level of care that you need. So that's why it's a little bittersweet, because I want to hate that lady.
I understand. And I think that you're right to have emotions around that, and you are dealing with that appropriately. But I just wanted to tell our audience that it's okay to feel lost in this system if you have invisible health illnesses. And it's okay to feel lost when you can't find your diagnosis.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important that you said about the invisible part. Because I went to the doctor and I was miserable. And she said, well, you look good. She said, you know what? You look really good from the outside. You look amazing. And I was like, well, I'm happy.
I stopped wearing makeup when I would go to my doctor.
Because, you look really good. And I'm like, what do I need to look like in order for you to be? But I knew.
A man.
This is probably true. I knew when I went to the doctor recently, and she was like, I think you need a little love. And she gave me a hug, and I was like, you're pretty bad if the doctor feels like.
You are doing pretty bad if the doctor gave you a hug.
The doctor was like,
sure there's a whole class on
she was like, I see you, I hear you, and somebody's gonna figure it out. I can't figure it out, but we need a little love, so here you are. And I am not a person that generally reflects like you need a little love, so I was like, oh no, you're bad. You're bad right now.
So, what do you hope is in the near future for Sheree?
So, right now, it's so interesting because this is like, I haven't gone to therapy in between me getting the diagnosis.
And we did that on purpose.
So I haven't been able to really process everything, but I'm so afraid to have hope right now. But what I hope is that I can get a new normal. Like, I've been kind of reflecting on that for the last couple of days. Like, this has been Cheremma sick.
Yeah.
Right? But what does Cheremma in recovery look like? And, like, there's hope that Cheremma can be brilliant in a different way without, having to fight pain and spend so much energy just trying to live, to be able to put that love into other people. So trying to make a positive out of it, but I hope that I get to actually be that person for a little bit. Oh, you're so nice.
And I've only known you this way, and you're pretty amazing. So I can only imagine what's to come in the next 3.5 years of wellness.
Oh my gosh. I can't even think about this is the last thing I'm going to say because I know that we've got to finish up, is that it's I just thought this weekend, like, how my poor body, like, I feel like I need to have like a party like, for my body. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know how you get in a fight with somebody, like, let me bring you chocolate. Like, I'm sorry, body. Like, my body has been through so much. And I feel like I just need to give it some love and somehow. But it's still like I'm still in pain. I'm still trying to get through some things. So I'm like,
You're almost there.
You're almost there, body. Like, just hold on for me a little bit, because
I believe that it will, and I believe that the body is miraculous through what God made, and I am very hopeful for you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I think that is a great segue, because as we continue to build this community for Good Enough Today, I am a living example of what Good Enough Today actually is about. I fight that battle, trying to remind myself that I am good enough today. Even if I'm not the Cheremma of the past, the Cheremma of the future, right now, I'm good enough. And even if you don't feel like it, you can remain hopeful for tomorrow and understand that you're absolutely good enough today.
Hope for tomorrow, good enough today.